Today's Captain's Blog is made possible by a generous grant from Robert Schultz. Thank you, sir, for helping out with this and for all the fun with rockets today. And you guys have heard your whole life the standard for something being hard is, well, it's not rocket science, man. Today we're actually going to do rocket science. Okay? Now, these are simple. Every one of you can do these. But there's a lot of steps and it's easy to screw up. And with most things involving space, it either works really well and everything's cool, or everybody dies. So we're going to try not to do that. Dies. That's what happens when NASA screws up. It's bad. NASA invented the ultimate bad day. So what we're going to do is we're going to put these together, and if the weather gets a little bit better, we might even be able to get to launch today, so we're going to try for that. But right now, the wind is blowing really hard in the worst possible direction, so I'm not going to guarantee we get to launch today, but we're going to try. What we're going to do is go through this step by step. Now I'm going to give you a secret in advance. Schenken Sie mir Ihre Aufmerksamkeit. Sie kommen jetzt in den interessantesten und gleichzeitig geheimsten Raum meiner Fabrik. Okay, so none of you speak German, so you can throw half of the instructions away. Your dad does, but if he wants to come and read these instructions, he can. But the other half is in English. So, since nobody can understand Raum meiner Fabrik, these you can just toss away. Make sure, yep, you can open your instructions. You'll have two sets. One is words that make sense, and one is words that are angry.
You know what? I'll come get all the German ones.
Okay. Cool. The cool thing is, you actually could put them together just with the pictures in the German instructions.
Anybody have German ones for me?
I don't know which is which.
Yeah, you do. Which one can you read?
I can read.
Can you read that? Yeah, but the pictures are the same. So any ones that aren't in English, because there's going to be a lot of pieces involved. Huh?
I can read this, but I don't understand.
I did just take his English. The idea is that there's a lot of little pieces in the bags, and I want you guys to not have more than you need. Okay, everybody's got it open and we sorted out the wrong instructions, right?
Yeah.
Now, you will all have a yellow piece of paper and you will have an empty bag, right? Both of those you can throw away in the trash can at the end of your table.
Throw away.
Oh, good question. Okay. Now, we're going to go through this one step at a time. We're all going to do it together, and we're going to keep up with everybody. If anybody has problems, just ask. We're here to help. We will get you through this. It's not impossibly hard. But don't go like 3 steps ahead, because some of this stuff is fussy, and I don't want to break them, okay? Also, there is a part in here where it's going to tell you to cut a thing out of your instructions. It's going to tell you to cut out this little panel. We're not going to do that. We already made you a whole bunch so that you can have all of your instructions together, so that you don't have to have a big hole in your cut-up instructions, okay? Alright, so we're going to start simple. Now there's a lot of stuff on the table, so you want to keep your little pile of stuff to yourself, but now is when you open up the little bag, okay? And when the little bag is empty, this one that you're just opening up now, you can throw the bag itself away. Also, bonus stickers. What? You know what is? Freaking me out. Oh. No. Okay. going to cover some basic parts and what they do so that things make a little bit more sense as we go together. You have the big paper towel tube. This is the main rocket body. Okay, this is the tube of the rocket. And on the bottom goes this. This is your tail fin assembly. Does anybody know why rockets have fins? So they can what? Rockets don't fly very well. What do the fins on a rocket do?
Make it go straight.
Yes, the fins control the direction it goes, which is why it would be a bad idea for us to launch in high winds, because the rocket will get caught by the wind and go places we don't want it to go. And if you go landing rockets on the highway, people, like, there's crashing and screaming and yelling and police, and it's just... So on the other end of the rocket is a part that does the exact opposite. This is the nose cone. This, its job is to catch the wind, so the rocket points the right direction. This, the object is to make as little wind as possible, which is why it's shaped like a point. It pushes the wind out of the way. It's the same as a boat, basically. On the bottom of this, you'll have this white piece with a little hook. And this is what your big shock cord's going to go to, and your parachute and all that. Also, this is a parachute. You're all going to get to play with a parachute today. These also work really good with Lego dudes. They're a little bit small for G.I. Joe guys, but they are perfect size for Lego dudes. The little tiny tube, so if this is the paper towel roll, this is the toilet paper tube. The little tiny one is for your engine. This is where the fire will go. We actually have little rocket engines that will go in here. You've got a little bent piece of metal. This is the piece of this is the thing that will hold your engine in place. And then you've got two little tubes. These are what hold the little tube inside the big tube, or the two little rings. The little piece of soda straw is how you aim the rocket when you launch it. It'll slip onto a point so that it doesn't just fall over and kill the cat that way. This way it actually goes up. And then you've got the big rubber band. This is specifically for snapping your sister with.
Oh, no.
Also keeps your rocket from breaking apart. So those are the basic parts, and then you have stickers because yay stickers. So, let's start out. Now, everybody's got a ruler, right? Now, everybody on the ruler knows what inches are, right? We all know inches? Okay, so we're going to start out on your tube. Pick up the little tiny white tube, this one, and if you examine your little white tube, you should have somewhere on your tube a little notch cut in the side. You see a little notch? Okay, put the tube on your finger with the notch up. And then hold your hand up like this so I know everybody's right. Make sure the little hole in it's on the top. Okay, this is what you're going to do. We're going to make a mark on the tube. From the bottom, we're going to measure up 1 inch. So, from the end of your ruler to 1 inch. Now, here's the problem. The ruler is a lie. You've been lied to. Because if you look at the ruler, because most people, what you're going to do is you're going to put the end of the ruler on the thing, and you're going to measure in 1 inch, and you're going to do it wrong. Because the ruler lies to you. If you look at the end of the ruler, you see that first line right next to the end that's really long? That's 0, not the end of the ruler. Okay? So you put the big line to the end of your tube, and then you go up 1 inch. And that's the next big line by the number 1. And then grab a crayon or something and make a mark on your thing. You can use a pencil if you're really precise, or if you're really dumb and rough at this like I am, just use a Sharpie with a blunt tip. That's how I do it. And you make a little mark on your tube like this at 1 inch. It should look like that.
I need to take it off.
Now once you've done your mark, hold your finger up in the air with your tube on top because I want to see your inch.
Alright, what do you say? Where's the mark?
Where do you want the mark?
The mark is at the opposite end from the little notch. On the tubes, there's a little notch cut in the tubes. And the 1 inch, the mark goes 1 inch up from the end on the end without the notch. So like 1 end has a notch, you have 1 inch, and you measure.
You go ahead and take a look at your tube here.
Let's figure out. You got it? Show me your mark.
Okay.
Show me your mark. Where do we put it? Mark. Okay. You got it. You're
Perfect.
awesome. Okay.
Yes.
Let me see your notch.
Yep. Opposite side.
Okay, so you want it on this side 1 inch up.
Like that. Okay, so you measure up 1 inch, which is from this line to there. So you hold that, like that, and then you draw a mark down here.
All right, let me see your line.
Make sense?
Okay, perfect.
1 inch. That's
You might want to
1 inch
extend that out
there.
just a little bit so that you can see the line when you cover it.
So you
Okay.
draw a line down there like that.
Let me see your
Makes sense?
line.
Draw
Perfect.
your line.
Good,
No?
good.
All right, here, I'll help you out. Watch. Give me your marker.
All right, let me see some lines here. Okay, looks good. Good.
There you go.
Perfect.
Okay.
All
How
right.
many people got an inch? Hold
That's
your
good.
finger up if you got an inch. Show me your inch. Yours is upside down. It's in the right side. There you go. Okay, you've got an inch, you've got an inch, you got an inch, you got an inch. Show me your inch. There's your inch. You have a faint inch. You have a dark, rugged inch. Flip, flip. Good. Good. Make that a little darker, you'll lose it. Good, good, good. She's got a double inch. Good. That's everybody? Cool. All right, we have the first step accomplished and nobody's died yet. Okay. This is rocket science. It's dangerous. Okay, so. That's, oh, we're going to get into glue.
Oh, yeah.
How many people have ever glued their fingers together? You are my people. Okay, we're doing fine. All right. All right, so this is going to be fine. Hi.
Why are
You're
you
cool.
raising your hand?
I don't know.
All right. The motto of today's journey is just going to be everything's going to be fine. Except for the kid trying to push the tube through his eye. Quit doing that, you're freaking me out. Alright, so you've got the big hairpin, right? Take a big piece of metal, you got your tube. Now there's a little notch in the tube, we've covered the notch, right? So, on the end of the piece of metal, one end is just bent over, and the other end kind of freaks out, right? Okay, so don't worry about the end that freaks out, you just want the and we're going to put the tube, or put the hairpin into the tube, okay? So it should look like that. You should have, it should go in and it should lay down the side, down alongside, and you should have a little bendy piece at the bottom, right? Should look like this. Hold it up when you've got it that far. Squeeze it. Squeeze it. Don't let it dangle. It'll fall and you'll kill us all. Okay, you got it. Got it. Got it. All right. So we're cool so far? We're going to dry fit before we glue. So we're going to do this twice. And the mission is at the end of it, none of us has our fingers glued to the rocket. It's harder than you think. All right. So everybody's got the green ring, and you should have the green not quite a ring. Okay? Pick up the green not quite a ring. Okay? Now this goes on the tube, and the hole goes over the thing. So watch how I do this and it'll make a lot more sense than me having to explain it. This goes on here, and you may have to wiggle it a little bit, but it'll slide right on, and it's going to sit right here at the end. Okay? And it'll look like that, like your little Mario mushroom. Okay? So you want to get to there. So this is where we want to end up. This is what we want it to look like when we're done. This is what success looks like. So everybody hold it up. Show me what you got. We're good? You are awesome. Excellent.
Mario one-up mushroom.
You can get there? You are awesome. You want this all the way down. Like snug. It will wiggle a little bit. Perfect. No, all the way down. No white space.
Like that?
Not like that. Rocket blew up. 8 people died. Okay. All the way down like that. It should
good.
be flush. There
That's
shouldn't
good.
be any tube peeking out the bottom. You want it nice and flat. Okay?
Lost your ring there.
Okay, we're good. Okay, so that's what we're going to end up at. That's where we're going to be. Now is where things completely just went off the rails. For anybody who's ever trying to remember this someday, this is the moment where it went off the rails. You're going to need glue.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yay.
So, if your glue isn't open, to open it, you grab the thing and tug it till it pops, and if you squeeze it, it should make hissy noises. So,
That one's theirs.
this is the balancing act you have to do. Hold this against the side of the tube so it doesn't fall out, because if you let go, this will fall. So you hold it like this. Slide this up the tube, because it's kind of hard to finagle it on. So slide this up the tube just a little bit, so it's sitting about there. And then take some glue, and don't get the glue on the carpet, because you'll get yelled at. Not that that's ever happened to me.
We won't.
and you put a little bit of glue around the base, about 1/4 inch up. And don't worry if you get glue on the metal piece, it doesn't care. But just put a bit of glue all the way around right at the end. Okay, so you want it about 1/4 inch up, and if you're wondering what 1/4 inch looks like, that's how wide the green thing is. Okay? And then you make sure, this is cool because with wood glue you have all the time in the world. You do this with super glue and you have to be quick, quick, quick. You make sure this is nice and straight up the tube. Don't have it in an angle because you'll make it angry. So nice and straight, and then slide this down. Smear it a little bit. Slide it down. And you want to line up the green ring with the bottom of the tube, and then take your finger, run your finger around the edge, smear the glue in, all nice and smooth, and when you're all done, it should look like that. Okay? You should have glue on your finger and green thing on your tube.
All right, you understand what to do?
Yep, just waiting for glue.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, you want to smoosh it around a little bit. If you leave droplets like that, they'll come in and the engine won't fit inside. You got this? You gonna need some help with it?
I don't think I'm going to do this.
I think you're gonna do this.
Alright, you wanna do it?
Here, watch. This isn't hard. Line the thing up there. Okay. Now hold that in that hand. You can do this. This is rocket science. Pinch like this. Here, look. Hold it just like that so that you can flip it around. Okay? All right. There. We got glue.
Yeah.
Okay. Now roll as I move. Okay. Spin that around. Get glue on it all the way around. Lots of glue. All right. Now pinch the thing back on. So it's all straight. And then slide this down like that to the end. And then run your finger around there and get the glue on. This is an important thing to remember. Unless you are wearing just plain old blue jeans, do not wipe the glue on your pants. It will wash off. It's not toxic or anything like that. But just on jeans, it's not a problem. If you have like black leggings, it's going to suck. Okay, has everybody got their tube on?
If anybody's fingers are super sticky, I got wet wipes. Anybody need one? Anybody else want to wipe their fingers?
Just the metal piece is supposed to be stuck in there as well.
No, that's why there's a notch.
Like hers is glued in there.
Oh yeah, that's okay. The glue will hold it.
Should it be glued in
It
though?
can be. It doesn't have to be. It won't hurt anything because the step we're going to do next is going to take care of that.
Then you'll need a wipe.
All right, now, does everybody remember when we measured up an inch?
Yeah.
Now, on your tube, you'll have a little mark at 1 inch, right? Everybody's got a little 1 inch mark? This is why! So, we're going to grab, you should have the wedding ring. The little white plastic wedding ring. Everybody see that? Hold the ring up. Show me your ring. All right, this is what you do. The ring goes on the other end. So just slip that over, like that. It'll take a little finagling. And then work the ring over the metal so that it's sitting like that. So it's sitting up towards the top part of the metal, and you just want to have the ring all the way around it. Okay? And you don't want to go down any further than this. You want to keep the ring up there because your 1 inch mark is way down here, and that's what we're going to be working in a second. But by fighting the ring on before we get to the glue, it makes this a lot easier. Slide up. We're not there yet, but you're getting there. All right, so keep the ring. See, my ring is up here. My mark is down here. So keep your ring way up at this end, but you want it to be just over the metal because that can be the hard part to get it over. Sometimes the rings are a little too small. Okay? Everybody there?
Yep.
All right, now we get to play with goop again. Now.
Yay.
Yeah. Get my goop. All right, so down on the 1 inch line, put a ring of goop all the way around. Just a thin little ring. You don't need a lot. It can be little dots if you're...
Do you want to hold it again and then turn it on?
Okay. There you go. So right at the 1-inch line where you put your mark, put a ring of glue all the way around. You don't need a lot, because it's just holding a little ring on. And then once you've got your ring, now remember how with the first one we put a ring of glue on and then we slid the ring down? We're going to do the exact same thing, only this time we're going to slide the band, the wedding ring, we're going to slide that down to the 1-inch mark, and you're going to put the 1-inch mark right under the band. Okay? So as long as the band covers the glue and the mark, you're fine. And then just wipe off the excess glue with your finger.
So it needs to go
It's not an exact science. You don't have to have this exactly perfect, but you want to be right around the 1-inch mark, preferably over the top of it. Okay? Show me what you got. Yeah, right on top. You're doing great. Slide that right down. Over the thing. And wipe the glue off.
With your finger.
Show me what you got. Oh, you're awesome. You're doing great. Cool.
I'm not finished with that yet, though.
With passion. No, you moved the other one off! Okay, you're fine now. Just leave it there. You got this. Alright, how you doing? Oh, you've got mad skills. What do you got? Is she building your rocket? No, you wouldn't do that.
She's helping me.
She's helping you. Okay, cool. You got this. Yours is awesome. Where's yours?
Alright. So you want this. Did you already put the glue on this?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Right. Okay, let me see your rockets.
Michelle.
Oh,
Michelle.
they're awesome.
Michelle.
Cool, you guys have this. Alright, so that's that one.
So we'll take this guy and get your mark right here. So get some glue on there. We're going to run it all across the mark here.
Now, for those of you that have been following along at home, we have survived the entire first page of the instructions. Has anybody glued their hand to the rocket yet?
A little layer here.
Okay, we'll get there. We're not done yet. Okay. All right. So now things are about to get rude. We have to deal with this. It's not just paper craft now. We're stepping up to plastic. We're doing ballistic science, okay? If anybody asks you what you did today, you tell them you did ballistic physics, okay? So, you have your engine module subassembly, which is a $5 name for a couple bits of paper too. This is your engine module subassembly, okay? And you've got your red wickety bit. These are technical terms.
scientific term.
Yes, this is your red wickety bit. Okay, so what you want to do is take the red wickety bit and this, and make sure the metal part is facing your arm. Okay, so you've got the metal part out the back. Red wickety bit like this, and stick this up its butt. Boop, just like that. Okay. Now this should be flat on the bottom, and it should just hang out right there. Lose it. And when you put this in there, okay, look at the end and see how it makes a Y, and I have the metal part up. You want to have it about like that. Okay, so you don't want to have you want to have the metal part between two fins. So you want it to look like this, and you don't want it to look like this. Okay, you want to have it between two fins, not along the side of the fin, because this makes it a lot easier when you have to get the engine in and out. Yeah, you got it.
Alright, so you want to take your green bit, push this all the way
Let
in,
me see your metal bits.
and then keep that metal bit in the middle of this.
Good, good.
So go ahead and pull this out. Turn that to the side. Yep.
There you go. Good. 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 Everybody's good. I keep waiting for you to build one. You're not making it rocket.
Wait.
Got some late joiners here.
We have instructions.
Now,
So we're actually going to put these ones away.
are we ready for more goo? Okay, so you hold this in there like that. It won't fall through. It will, but you got to really push on it. So don't really push on it. Just hold it in there with your fingertip, and it's cool. And you can hold this like this. And this is the easy way to hold this, so that you don't end up with glue all up your arm. Not that I've ever done that. Not me, because I'm cool and I would never do something that dumb. Okay, so grab your goop. Now see the little white piece that sticks out the top?
Yeah.
You want to put a little bit of glue on that, not a lot, just enough to get it wet all the way around, okay? Because all we got to do is hold the entire rest of the rocket together with a little bit of glue. Okay, so you put a little bit of glue on the white part that sticks out, and then you have one other green ring. Remember the green ring we put on the bottom that was the almost ring? You have another one that's a ring that goes all the way around, and you put the green ring on top, right over where you just glued, and then you hold your finger down here so that it doesn't come out the butt, and you push this down, and it'll all just come together in a moment of serendipitous bliss. And then just run your finger around here to clean the goop off. Okay? When you're all done, it should look like this. You should have green and red with a hint of white. It's quite festive. It's just in time for Christmas. At which point you can take your finger off the bottom and then go around the whole thing and look for any parts where you see big drips of glue and clean those off.
So is it supposed to be moving inside?
It should spin a little bit. Oh, like that? Yeah, it can spin.
Yep, so you got that glued. So now just take your green ring
It will
and
stop
on the end of
moving
there.
in a few minutes as the glue dries. Okay, when it's
Hold
all
on to the
together,
butt.
hold up your hand and
Hold
show
on
me
right
what
here.
you got. What are you doing?
Put your finger right there. That way it doesn't slip out. And then put this one on.
You're doing that the hard way. Run this end all the way. Guys, you put it together like this and then slide the thing on, and if you hold your fingers where I told you, it will go on and it won't come back out the butt. You don't want it to come back out because it makes it really goofy and difficult and there's sadness. See? Remember I told you
That's the best it's gonna do.
So I'm going to take this guy right here.
It's not
You
straight.
throw it up. Shell?
I'm going to push him like that.
There.
And we're going to take this guy here.
You gotta put it on like
Grab onto that
directly on.
side.
Carter, you're on camera. Smile.
Plug it in. Like that. And then go ahead and
Put your
wipe that
head
extra
stuck
glue out
out.
of there.
So, do a peace sign or something.
It may need a little coercion. All right. When it's all together, hold it up and let me see what you got. You're good. You're good.
How'd you go through?
You're good. You're not good. You're the bad kid. Okay. You are good.
Ours is a little snuggier.
Yep. If you're having
Take it
trouble getting it on, let me know because this gets tricky. Taylor, help him.
Yep.
Show me what you got.
All right.
Here's the trick.
So we got
Like this with this hand.
the end here.
Like this.
You're going to push on this side. Okay. Just barely.
Oh, wow.
Then you're going to take this one, put 2 fingers over it. That way you got lots of room to
You're
play
the
with
goofy
it.
kid.
Just kind of keep working it back and forth until you get it on there.
Okay, anybody who can't get it in, see me and I'll show you a trick. You got it? It's not supposed to be crooked.
His glue mostly dried before we could even get on there.
If your glue dries before you can get it on, add more glue. You're good, you're good, you're good, you're good. You're my favorite. Okay, cool. All right. So, now that you have built your engine subassembly, set this aside on the table, right side up. It has to sit on its feet like this, okay? And we're just going to let the glue dry on that, and it's going to take a while. So just leave that alone, let it chill. Is there anybody that doesn't have that totally done? Because we're going to go on to the next section, and I want to make sure we don't... No child left behind! Alright. Next, you need the paper towel holder and the little tiny soda straw. Hold these up. Let me see you got both pieces. Paper towel holder and soda straw. Up! Hands up! 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 Where is it? Where is it? You've got it. Find it.
Oh, that.
Okay, you've got both. Alright. This is a super easy part. All you have to do is glue this to this, like this. Okay? You're just going to put it at the bottom. That's it. You're going to glue this to this, like this, right at the bottom. Have this be even with the bottom pretty close. It doesn't have to be dead on, but don't have it hanging below, okay? So it can be flush or a little bit above, but don't let it hang below. If it hangs below, it won't go together and then you'll cry. Okay, so have it be a little bit above even is okay. And the way you do this is you steal the glue from a nice little girl with no compassion for her feelings at all. Just walk up and steal her glue. And put a tiny little bit down the side. This is not a step where you want to have huge gobs of goo. Okay? For this one, it's gentle. Now guys, it's really super important that the two tubes are both parallel. Okay? Look at me. You want the two tubes to go in the exact same direction. If the little tube is crooked on there, your rocket's going to fly screwy and there will be sadness and pain. If you use just a little bit of glue, just enough to get it wet all the way down, it'll just stick there and it won't slide around and it won't move, and this is the easy way. If you use lots of goo, it's going to fall off. It'll actually slide down because the glue won't dry, but if you put just a little bit, it works like that. It sticks right out.
Is it supposed to be exactly, or is it...
Really as close as you can get. I'm not expecting like 4/1000ths of an inch tolerances, but just eyeball it and be like, yeah, that's all right. Yeah, that's fine. Here, I have ISO certified eyeballs. Let me see. Oh, you're beautiful. You're awesome. Okay, when you've got it on, hold it up like you're crooked. This kid's twisted, and I want everybody to know. You're perfect, you're perfect. When you've got it, set it on the table to make sure that it doesn't hang down the bottom.
You see those?
And just put it on the table to make sure it's cool, and then flip the whole thing over so that this is in the air, and set it on the table to dry. If you do it that way, you won't glue your tube to the table. Good, 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 good. Let me see yours. Turn around. Turn. Oh, you're still my favorite. Okay. All right. Yeah. Don't. This is like the greatest stuff ever if you get a splinter. Okay. Is this yours? Your rocket was just about to get way cooler there. Alright. This part's a little bit scary, so we're going to do it slow. And this is what's going to happen. I'm going to show you the way the book says it's supposed to be done, and everything's just going to work fine, right? It never works that way in real life. But this is what the book says. The book says, you take this piece, see how the little tube we just glued on there? Okay, you've got that, and you turn that around, and you put that over the green thing. Now, don't do it yet, because here's the truth. For some of you, the end of your tube may be a little squished or kinked in. So, you take your nose cone, you put it on your finger, and you stick your nose cone in here super gently. If you push this really at all, like any more force than like a fingertip, you can tear your tube and then the whole thing's dead. Just dead. But you take this and you put it in here, and you just, if there's any kinks in your tube, that takes them out. So you just put this in just a little bit, turn around, and that just makes things easier. Then, the way this is going to end up is we're going to put glue on the green band here, on top of the engine part, and we're going to put, with the tube down, with the little tube down, we're going to put this on here, and we're going to slide it all together and finagle it around and twist it and yell a little bit. There may be some tears, and you push this on, and you end up like this. Okay? Now I haven't put any glue on this yet because we're going to do this all together nice and slow, but this is where you want to end up, and when you put it together, see the little tube? You want the little tube to end up down the middle between two fins. You do not, it would be really bad for the little tube to line up like that. You don't want the little tube pointing at a fin, because if you do, you won't be able to launch your rocket. Okay? So, little tube in between two fins. Like that. It is best to not have it on a metal thing. Remember how we had the metal thing between two fins? So that uses up one space. Pick either of the other two. You don't want to have things lining up with other things. So, once you got that, steal the glue from the little girl, because you're mean. You're a horrible person. Put a little glue on there. It doesn't really matter how much. You don't need a lot. This isn't one of those bigger the job, the better the job kind of things. And then put your tube on there. Finagle it. You may have to wiggle it just a little bit. And then use your finger to clean up all the way around, because you don't want any drips. No drips. When you've got it done, hold it up and let me see your rocket. Because that's the whole bottom half.
Does it have to go all the way down?
Let me show you. Oh, you're perfect. That is absolutely the way it should be.
Am I your new
Yes, watch it.
Am I your new favorite?
You might be. Oh my God, look at the amount of goop. You're the messy kid, I like you.
Loves the glue.
This rocket's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Look at the.
Is this
Don't judge me.
good enough, or does that
No, you gotta go all the way down.
all the way down? Okay.
Yeah, don't just
I
take
didn't
me
want-
halfway and stop.
That's why I went.
I'll try. Oh, there you go. Okay,
you.
that's a little. Now go all the way around with your finger. Do not just like the rocket together. It'll tear.
If it makes sense to you, then it makes sense.
All right, let me take a look here.
Okay, show me if you can't get it all the way down. Oh, yours is awesome. Okay, you're my favorite for that stuff.
Just a little bit.
Okay, you are great.
Kind of wiggle it, you know.
No, a little bit more. Let me see it. I'll do it soon. I'm great. Boop. There you go. You just need a boop. How did you get glue up? I don't want to know. I'm not asking.
Is a boop the technical term, or?
Huh? All the way around? Quick, get your finger in there. Be hardcore. Get in there. Run it through your hair. Oh, you're awesome.
It does not work.
Okay. Is good, 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 good. I just said my own was good. Good. Wipe off the glue. Wipe off the glue. All right, everybody, you're a little. You got some angle in your dangler.
Oh, definitely.
There. Now wipe off the glue.
Okay.
You see it?
How
How did you do that? All right, you're cool. Everybody's awesome. All right.
Okay.
Now is when things get serious. At this point, you have the entire bottom half of your rocket, by the way. This is the halfway point. We made it this far. Has anybody glued their fingers to the rocket yet?
No, I almost did.
Almost, okay, but we made it. All right,
I almost.
so we got the whole, oh, now it's going to get hard. Okay, so Miss Michelle had a whole bunch of little pieces of paper that she cut out for me. Thank you. Yep. All right, everybody gets one of these, okay? Everybody who's got a rocket needs a little piece of paper. Raise your hand up if you haven't got one yet. The little piece of paper I'm going to put in your hand. Okay, has everybody got one? Everybody got one? And there's a couple little kids over here that are going to need one in a bit. Okay, I trust you. Everybody got one? All right, so now it's time for arts and crafts. Okay, Alright. I've been assaulted by
When somebody
Anastasia.
does something naughty, doesn't mean
He's
you
a
get to do it
grown
back.
up. He should.
Well,
he
for
knows
varying values of grown up.
It doesn't mean you get to do it back.
He knows better. He knows better.
I just got beat up by a Disney princess. Alright. Okay. Everybody got a piece of paper with me.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi. So, you should have a little piece of paper shaped like a narrow tornado that has 1, 2, 3 on it, right?
Yes.
Okay. It's rocket science. Math is important. Especially, you have to be able to count backwards to launch a rocket. That's like a fundamental.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Wow.
So, bend your little piece of paper on the lines so that it looks like this. Just put a little crease on each one. You're going to end up there.
We don't have a lot.
If I make it through this stuff, it's over. I've done this like 1,000 times. I've just never done it with a little bit of paper. Rocket nerds tend to not have this many friends. That's why we become so. Alright. We're going to get through this without making a giant epic mess, right? Okay. I believe in you.
Murphy's Law.
I'm going to show you what's going to happen, and then we'll do it together with glue, okay? You're going to take this piece, and you're going to put a little line of glue right down the middle, and you're going to put this on here so the tip of it covers the number 1. So you're going to have glue right down between all the numbers with a rubber band on it, okay? So the end of the rubber band is going to go there like that. Write down the numbers. And then you're going to fold this one over. Okay, you're going to fold 1 over onto 2 and add a little glue and smush it all down. You'll end up like that with 1 over 2. And then you're going to add more glue on 3 and you're going to fold this over here with 2 over 3. And you're going to end up like that with it all glued together and kind of goopy. Okay? This is where you want to end up. And you want to have all the glue on the inside. So look how it goes together. And notice that you do not have to completely saturate everything with glue, really. So now let's do it with glue. Take this piece of paper, and you can set your rubber band down for a minute, and take your glue, thank you, and you're going to put 1 little line down the middle. Just the width of the numbers is all you need. 1 little line right down the middle, all the way from the number 3 to the number 2 and the number 1. That's what you want it to look like. Okay, just a little line down the middle. So get to this, and then on this, you lay this down on the table and put your rubber band right on top of the glue. Okay? And you should have the skinny end of the paper at the top, at the end of the rubber band. Okay? So it should look like this. Skinny end at the end of the rubber band. Okay? Once you're all there, hold it up and show me what you got. You got skinny end? You got the skinny end. Okay, you're cool. And just set that down so it doesn't fall.
I got it.
Skinny end, you got it, you did it great.
Yeah.
You started show me your skinny end, huh? Like this. Skinny end, yeah, just. And then you're going to fold the skinny end over onto the middle. And just smush it really good. You may have to hold it for a second. You may have to smush the glue around to make it stick, but it really will stick, and it'll look like this. Okay, you're going to fold just 1 over to 2, like that. Once you've got 1 over 2, hold it up and show me what you got. I want to make sure everybody's caught up. Hold it up, 1 over 2, and you got it. Alright, now here's where it gets a little weird. You gotta hold this like this, hold the glue in the other hand, and on the end piece, here, you're going to add a little bit of glue. Not a lot, but make sure not down the middle, you want it out on the sides too. But just get glue all over it, okay? Now we're at the bigger the gob, the better the job. So just get glue all over it, and then fold it over like this, and squeeze the glue out. Okay? Most of the glue you put in there should actually squeeze out the sides. And you should end up with a little folded over dingus that looks like this, and you should have your little jellyfish. This is your jellyfish. When you get to this point, hold it up and show me your jellyfish.
It's not a jellyfish.
Looks like a jellyfish. It's a box jellyfish, yo.
It's a tentacle of an octopus.
What do you have if you have more than one octopus?
Octopus. You have a whole octopus.
What's the word for more than one octopus?
Octopus.
No, octopodes. Or if you're really technical, octopodes, but nobody says that. Okay, everybody got the jellyfish?
Yeah.
She's getting good at this. I'm going to catch that. I'm being abused by Anastasia. Everybody got it? All right, now we've all given it a minute for the glue to dry, which is why we sat and held these for a second. Okay. Remember, everything's going completely according to plan, and this is going to be fine. This is what you're going to do the next step. Now you've got the front that has the writing on it. You should have the little Estes logo, right? Everybody sees the little writing?
Yep.
You're going to put your finger on that side. You're going to pinch it like this. You're going to take your tube. Yeah, this is going to suck. And what we're going to do is about 1.5 inches, or as far as you can stick your finger, is what we're doing, okay? You want to put this in the tube as far as you can stick your finger and just have it way down in there, okay? And you're going to push it against the side like this. So this is what you're going to do. Put it in there, and when you put it in at first, because this is a practice, we're rehearsing for the serious science part. You're going to not let it touch the side, so you're going to put it in like that. And you're going to go in as far as you can, and then push it against the side, and then slide it up. But you want to have it as far in as you can reach. The idea here is when you do this, you want to not get any glue on the very end for like, first knuckle and a half, okay? Because we're going to put another piece here, and we don't want it to glue in place. We want it to be able to come in and out. So no glue in the opening. So you take this, you steal Anastasia's glue, you put a little bit of glue on this, just enough to get it wet, and smear it around, okay? You do not want super amounts of glue. You want just enough glue on this to get it wet. So like just smear it around. You just want to have it be wet. No big drips.
Does it matter at the left?
Not really.
What side?
It's going to go in the top of the rocket. So like this. Look at me. This is just wet. You go in. You push it against the side, way up inside, and you just hold it there. You smush it out against the side. Really flatten it out. And it doesn't matter where you go as long as it's as far as you can stick your finger. And then you have your recovery set up. And then just...
Alright, now do it in Spanish.
Okay, you're in there? Okay, is everybody got in? And no glue on the tops. Good. You have impressively long fingers for a tiny person. Good. Work it! Right in there and squeeze it inside. I believe in you. Can I see it? Let me check it. Oh, that's lovely. I'm going to have to help you with a little smushing. Okay, you're good. Alright, everybody made it that far. We have now completed the entire main body of the rocket. Okay. Well, no, we just have a minor... What's that? Why you do this to me?
Because she's awesome.
She's pretty cool. Alright, so we have a minor problem in that we have wood glue. This is wood glue. And we don't have model glue, and we have to glue a couple pieces of plastic together. So we're going to do this. No, that's rubber cement.
Oh.
Which
Won't work. Might work better.
might work. Let's give it a shot.
Okay.
Alright, we're going to do an experiment. I've already got one.
Oh.
Don't take the kid's stuff.
My bad.
She's a good kid.
You've been stealing stuff from her the entire time.
She's not a good kid. She's a good kid. She tried to abuse me with a rubber band. Alright, so on your table, does everybody have rubber cement? Okay.
No.
You got rubber cement? There you do. Okay, everybody's got rubber cement. 2 things you need to know about rubber cement, and this is super important because I am a legit adult. These are important things to know. Fun things with rubber cement. If you ever get a splinter that you can't really see to get out, oh, I'm making a mess. If you ever get a splinter that you can't really see to get out, put rubber cement like in a wide swath, like a space about that big around, over it, like really super thick, and let it totally dry. And when you peel it off, it takes a splinter with it. It works really well. I do this. If you work with fiberglass, you're going to get really good at this. So, you should have the blue nose cone and the little white dingly bit. Okay, everybody got the dingly bit and the nose cone?
Yes.
Alright, these go together like this. You should have the little hook on the bottom. Okay? You got the little hook on the bottom,
Yeah.
and they go together like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to put glue around this part, the part that slides inside, because there's a little step on it. So you don't want any rubber cement out here. You really, really, really don't want any rubber cement out here because you'll glue your rocket together and you'll be sad. But you need a little bit of glue here. If this is too tricky, the easy way to do this is to hold the blue nose cone like this, with like a funnel, okay? And you take your rubber cement, because if you do it like this, you can't screw it up. You take your rubber cement and you put it around the inside, and you don't get any on the outside, okay? And you just spin it around, and then you share. And then you take, now holding it like this, you put this in there, and turn it as you go in. Give it a little, like about a half twist. And then just hold it like this, and the glue won't run out. And there will be a bunch of glue up in the top, but we don't care about the top, because that's on the inside. So you can have all the glue you want inside it. That just adds to nose weight, which improves the directional stability of your rocket.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Yeah, see, we did science there. Now, to let this dry, set your nose cone up, pointed down like this, in the top of your rocket. And it'll just wait.
Wait for somebody else to get done.
Because we have three kids coming in now.
Hello, Charlene.
And late.
Sorry, I won't. Oh, I was confused on the timing because it said one and then.
Yeah, there were two different emails. It was a little weird.
Okay.
It's alright, we'll get you there.
There's
one extra seat up in the front.
Oh, but he took one of them.
That's okay, they got lots of them. Hi. They sent out two emails, and one told people to be here at 1, and one told people to be here.
Alright guys, go ahead and raise them. Yeah, we're going to start actually with a smaller pack.
Okay.
I'm glad you're here. Oh, that's yours. They all are going. Alright. No, we're going to do them as a separate group in a bit. Who's just getting here? Alright, Michelle, have you got them? You got this? Alright, cool.
21 rockets.
So you guys have been here. I kind of figured this was a rocket. It's kind of an indicator. Alright, we lost one. I told you every now and then we lose a kid. Yeah. Alright, I'll carry on as lineage. Okay, now we get to play with parachutes. So you should have a little bag with parachute, right? Okay, open your little bag with parachute. I'm just going to poke this in the top. Okay, now, this is where it gets kind of cool. You should have a parachute like this with a tail, right? Now your parachute, the tails of the parachute are actually loops. So what you're going to do is put your finger right through them all and go down slowly and gently, and you'll get one or two of them, and then catch the other loop. But what you want to do is end up with your finger. You'll have 3 loops, like this. Okay, there's only, it looks like 6, but it's actually only 3 strings for the parachute, and they loop around at the bottom, right? You want to have them look like that. So hold your finger up with your parachute on it like this, and they're super delicate, so you want to be careful. No, you want all of them. You got them all? You do have them all. Okay. Hold your finger up like this with all your loops. Up! Up! Up!
Oh my God.
Okay, now, this is how we do this. I'll do it. Everybody watch, and then do it just like me, okay? You've got your 3 loops here. So you're going to pinch it together, and you're going to push the 3 loops through the big loop on the bottom of your rocket, like this. It's going to go through the hook. And you want to make sure to get all 3 through. And out the other side. And if you do it right, and this is how we're going to test to make sure you got it. If you do it right, when you let go of this, everything will hang. Okay, so you should be able to have your finger up with your nose cone hanging off. That's how I know you got all the loops through. Okay? That's step 1. Everybody do that. It's kind of a pain. You got it perfect. Hold your finger up with the loops. Don't pinch them. I want to see one finger. One finger, like this. That's how I know you've actually got the loops through. Because if you pinch it, you might not be through. Okay, has everybody got it? Fingers up? We're going to wait. We're going to hang out right here with a finger up. Finger, 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 finger. One finger. See, you're missing these. If it doesn't look like this, you're not there yet. You've got it. You've got it. You're like moments away. You got it. 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 Everybody here's got it. Almost. Kind of. One finger. One finger. Okay. So, now put your thumb in the hole and spread it out so you have a big loop. Okay? Now we're going to do the recovery knot. This, you grab the tip down here of the parachute, and you bring the tip through the loop. And if you do it right, this magical thing can happen. You bring it through the loop and drop, and it'll look like that. Hey, you got a parachute on a nose cone. How about that? Okay, this is where we want to be. Yeah, how about that? See? You just tied a knot without thinking about how to tie a knot.
Did you get it?
Oh my god, you messed up.
No, flip through.
He messed up.
Pull up, pull up, pull up.
You just have to
Pull up, let go.
You go.
Don't! No, you pulled it back out.
There you go. You're all set, ready to roll. Alright, hold it up.
When you get it, hold it up like this. It should look like this. You got it?
There you go.
Help him. You got it. Help him. You got it. 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 You're so close. I'm watching. I'm watching and I'm judging you. You're not there yet. Here. Look up. You got it.
Yep, you're just gonna fling
Through the thing. Through the thing. Pinch top. Drop it. There you go. Okay, you got it? Yeah. Everyone's a winner. Okay, cool. Now, drop the parachute and hold the thing like this. Now, you got to be careful because you've got wet glue here, and this will pull out really easy. And you've got wet glue in there, and that'll pull out really easy. So you want to be careful when you do this. But you take the other end of the thing and keep it loose. You don't want to try and pick the rocket up by this because it'll pull right out right now. Put the end of your rubber band under the thing, and then just tie any knot you like in it. But keep it out a ways. You don't want to like slide this way up the thing and tie a knot. You don't want to have a knot up here like that. That would suck. Your rocket will blow apart. So have this way out here. You want to have just a little bit, okay, like 3-4 inches, and then just tie it in any kind of knot you like. This is where you get to use that manky, terrible granny knot. That's the only one anybody ever taught you how to tie. But just tie it on there really good. A couple knots maybe. Maybe put a little snot in there to help stick it together. Snot works really good.
Well, I think they call it a nose cone.
Yeah. Okay, so you tie that in there, and you should end up with something that looks like this. Okay? You should have the rubber band and the parachute tied to the end of the nose cone. When you get to that point, set everything on the table. Hey, do what? Mad skills, yo.
You put this through this, then you tie it.
Yeah, you're not, bud?
And tie it on. Yeah. Come around and tie it on there. Do not put the nose cone in the rocket yet. You'll regret it. Because there's enough wet glue in there that you'll never get it out. Guess how I learned this. Every time I tell you something in a step, we're like, hey, don't glue this to this yet, or don't let glue touch this, or this will make it break. It's because I've made all of those mistakes.
How many times?
I have found just about every way there is to screw up making a rocket.
Why am I not surprised?
Okay, I am going to come around and give you the final inspection on your rocket, and I will trim off your little tail as I do to signify that your rocket has passed inspection, okay? I'm going to start right here. This will take me a few seconds with each person.
These don't launch. You're going to be held responsible.
Yeah.
That's your inspection certification. You passed. Okay, let me see yours. Is good. You unfolded. God, now you're gonna have to learn how to pack a parachute. And
Do you have a person in here?
a person?
Yes.
Yes, we brought in a team of Peruvian midgets just to ride in the rockets today. Spared no expense. We couldn't get people, but I found a whole bunch of kittens really cheap. And I got cute little baby kittens.
Okay.
And we'll be using those in the rockets. I'm sure we won't have any problems at all.
Everything will go perfect.
When I was a kid, and you can still find them on eBay, when I was a kid, they had a model rocket that you could buy that had a little clear capsule that you could put your pet hamster in. People actually did this.
No way.
Yep, this existed. I haven't seen them in years, but they used to exist. I can't imagine why they don't make those anymore.
I can. That was too dangerous for a hamster.
I did not launch a hamster in my rocket. I launched a pet mouse. My brother had snakes and he used to buy feeder mice, and I figured he was destined to die anyway, so he's not out anything. And I am happy to report the mouse survived the rocket flight and came back uninjured. He was then fed to a 5-foot ball python named Veronica.
Oh,
So that's the award he got for surviving the rocket.
Right behind you.
And there's your inspection certification. I did yours, didn't I? Your rocket's going to fly straight. How many people on the bottom of your rocket, the red fin, is bent a little bit? How many people have a bent fin? If you have a bent fin, when you launch your rocket, it's going to spin.
Ooh, that's cool.
So the bent fin kids are cooler. Just so you know. You got a little bit of You gotta be careful. There you go. Next! Who's next? Who's next?
Me.
Good.
It's a good turnout. Seems like everybody's having fun.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
If you have not yet unfolded your parachute, don't. It just makes it harder to get back in the thing.
That's nice.
It's rockets. Rockets are cool.
That's what I'm saying.
If you
It's a
can't,
whole program to be able to have one.
you're gonna want to.
If you say rocket around any age boy, they're like, ooh, rockets. Doesn't matter.
Is yours come down? It's a little rattled. That'll be fine.
He's like 80 and he still likes them, so.
Okay, your rocket officially has a name. Okay. The name of this rocket is She'll Be Right Name. When anybody ever walks up and looks at your rocket and says, that thing rattles, you go, ah, she'll be right, mate. Hi, how you doing?
I glued this
Wow, you're
part,
good at this.
and it didn't glue. Like, I glued it here, but it's not glued.
Which end do we put the? We put it on the straw.
Hey, I'm a lot bit OCD. It works. Okay, there's your inspection sticker. Good.
Oh, I get it? Oh, wait.
Good.
Go in the
Good.
trash pile.
Good.
There's a trash and my sticker.
Ow, what the heck?
Good. There's your inspection certification.
It's actually here.
This is all.
Wow. Yes. It's deja vu.
You ever see what happened to Chandler?
I know, yes.
I was about your age. When I was about your age, they took us all to, like, because it was still a new thing back then, they took us all to the gym. Yeah, it was really huge because I was a teacher on one show. And we all went to the gym. We got our kids packed in the gym, all looking at TV screens. And that was Columbia. Or that was Chandler. You know what NASA stands for? Another 7 astronauts. It's a horrible joke. It's a horrible joke. All right, everybody pass inspection?
Yeah.
All right. You didn't? What did you do? This is why we can't have nice things. Glue that back on there. Now, when I tell everybody to put theirs together, don't put yours together because the whole thing will stick together. Yeah, because your glue will still be wet. Look at yours. Eric doesn't love you like I do. Eric obviously wants you to like fail and have your rocket crap. Eric, why do you like that? Alright, so everybody else, not you. You'll glue it together if you do what I tell everybody else to do, so don't do that, okay? Because I'll feel bad. I'm a sensitive man. Alright. Alright, now, at this point, you should have this. You have a complete rocket with nose cone and recovery parachute. So, we're going to get some recovery wadding because it didn't come with the kits, but it's with the engines. I hope I have enough. Alright.
How many sheets do you need for?
Let's see how big the sheets are in this one. This is a little different. Okay. Everybody wants to get 2 pieces this size of recovery wadding. Okay, you only want 2. You don't want more than that. So I'm going to put this out. Everybody take 2 and pass it around. Okay? Take 2 and pass it around. It's just the lightest little tissue paper. Everybody needs 2 squares. Okay, just 2 squares. You don't want 3.
We only want it to connect the blue with this. You're going to take this and you're going to run it down the line. Right on the inside. Then stick this down over to. Go ahead and hold it upright like this so you don't get any excess on the outside.
There might be more, I'm not sure.
Don't fall on my little red.
Go ahead and wipe here.
Like the inside of the inside.
Open.
Okay, does everybody have 2 pieces? Raise your hand if you do not yet have your 2 pieces.
Pretty sure I calculated that there was enough wadding for each model racket. You never know.
Okay, has everybody got their 2 pieces?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, pick up piece number 1. Hold up piece number 1. No, you've got number 2. Alright, now this is what you do. Very loosely, you don't want a tight little one. Very loosely crumple this up into a ball. A really big, poofity loose ball like this. Don't make it tight. Big, poofity ball, okay? You want to have it a little bit bigger than the size of the hole in your rocket. And then take piece number 1 and stick it in your rocket. Just light finger pressure. You don't want it in there super deep. Just a finger in, okay? And then take piece number 2 and crumple it up in a loose ball like this and stick it in your rocket. 1 finger deep, as far as you can push with your finger. Really gentle, really loose, okay? What you just did is called loading the recovery wadding. The recovery wadding is fireproof paper that keeps your rocket from burning up. It keeps you from setting your parachute on fire. Okay. Now, everybody pick up your parachute from the top. And if you've unfolded your parachute, fold it back up so it looks like this. Okay? Now, fold the parachute in half so it looks like that. Okay? Should look like a bent over wizard hat. Alright. Now, we bring it to round together like this. Not super tight, but you're just going to kind of fold it in half up and down. So it should end up looking kind of like this. Okay? When you've got it like this, hold it up, let me see. Okay. Now, take the string and wrap the string around really loose. You should end up with something that looks kind of like this.
Alright, we can see how you wrap the string around again.
You do it like this. You have it hanging like that.
Alright, hanging. Got it hanging.
And then you just wrap the string around it like this. Just like 2 or 3 times. And you should end up about like this. Okay, this is what you want it to look like. This is where you want to be.
Wrap it around.
There's always issues. This is one of those things that it always looks bad the first time you do it. Okay, has everybody got here? Once you get to this point, take the parachute. Now one end of the parachute has the strings coming off it, right? The end that's folded over and doesn't have the strings off it, stick that in a rocket. And just stuff it down in there, and you should end up like this. This is where you want to be. That's where you want to be. So that end is the end that goes in the rocket. Okay? Once you get to this point, take the rubber band and turn your rocket up like this, and then just stick the rubber band down inside the rocket. I used to say there is no wrong way to do this, but it turns out you can screw it up. But you just stuff this down in a hole and you should end up like this, with just a little bit of rubber band and a little bit of string hanging out the top. This is where you want to be. Once you make it to this point, set your rocket on the table and just leave it kicked over like that, just hanging out. Yes, you are perfect.
When are we going to do the stickers? When are we going to do the stickers?
We'll do the stickers. We're actually almost to stickers.
Yay!
I'm behind you.
Are you? Now you're beside me.
It says 3 squares. 3 to 4. We only did 2.
Yep.
Can we harvest stills out of this?
Huh? Yeah. Alright, everybody got it to that point?
Yeah.
Now this is the best part ever.
Stickers!
No. Lift it up and just tuck it in with your finger, very gently, and put the top on your rocket. And get everything down in the hole. Do not have anything pinched here. It should actually be in the hole. You use a finger. And then stick this on top. And then set it on the table and marvel at the majesty and beauty that is your completed rocket.
What's the 2 for?
Huh? That's for launching it. I'll show you in a second. There you go. But at this point, you should have a complete rocket, and you should have
Yes.
some stickers.
Just tie it on there.
You should have stickers.
Once you've got it tied
like
on,
this. This is your stickers.
once you got it tied on, cut the excess.
There is no wrong way to put the stickers on a rocket. Go nuts.
So as far as like going into the tube,
You can
about
also
there
decorate
to tie the knot,
outside of your rocket
and then just cut
with
off any
Sharpie
excess.
markers, which are in the cups in front of you. It is awesome to put your name on the rocket, so then when your rocket lands in the highway and causes a giant pileup, they know who to blame. The whole thing should come back. Well, the whole thing will land. Whether or not you find it, that's on you. But I promise, I absolutely guarantee you, it will land somewhere. Often in the largest, angriest tree in the area.
What's the parachute for?
The parachute is to keep it
So
from
it
turning
doesn't-
into a lawn dart.
Comes down gently instead of.
With little rockets like this, you don't really need a parachute. But with the big ones, it matters.
Put the stickers. You know, you said to put the stickers in here, but they can't put the stickers.
Yeah, guys, important thing. Do not put the stickers on the line between blue and white. Because when this launches, it's going to break apart here and shoot the parachute out so it comes back gently. So don't put the sticker here. Anywhere else is fine. At the line between blue and white. You guys have done this before.
You guys got any garbage you want to throw in here?
Oh, do you not?
Like some model rocket.
Why you no focus?
Oh, the Muskegon model rocket.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool dudes. Really cool dudes.
Why you no focus?
Because you're inside the minimum focal length and looking back at a complicated background. If you want a picture of that, put this here and take a picture of it.
Hey Chris, you want to explain a bit about the wadding?
Sure. You take two pieces of this. You roll it up like this, about that loose. Okay, just a big loose wad. Stick it in there. 1 finger deep. Okay, do the second one. 1 finger deep. And all this is paper that doesn't like to light. Then you take this, fold it over, fold it around, wrap it up.
Tomorrow's walker.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay.
Just making sure I'm staying on top of it.
Right. Yeah.
Add some strings on it.
So there's that plastic bin there that has like all the markers and the glue and everything. So I was hoping you guys would just kind of take that around with you.
And then you put all this in
That way you have all the supplies. All the locations should have the rockets already.
Oh, so these here you're talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. So you know they'll fill it back up with the glue and
and you have a
the
rocket. When you put
markers
stickers on
and like everything to make the rockets basically goes back in that tunnel.
Okay,
But all the locations already have the engines and the rockets themselves.
perfect.
So you just need to take the supplies basically.
Yeah, we'll get on that.
Cool.
Ooh, those are pretty.
So that was your over here again.
Perfect timing, I think.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good on time.
I don't think the weather is going to let us use this today, but I'm going to show you guys how it works. I'm here to
Did you put your?
No, we'll reschedule a launch. And they'll work out the details, but what I'm guessing is they'll let you take your rocket home.
And take that stuff home?
This has never been used for a launch.
But how do you launch it? He's gonna show you.
We'll meet back here and we'll do a launch day. But it depends on the weather. Which is the same problem they have with real rockets. It all depends on the weather.
Alright, put your cover. I feel like the weather is
It's supposed to be raining at 3 a.m.
Yeah, it was rainy and freezing cold and miserable, and I don't want people to have to suffer.
the rockets.
Okay. Now, a lot of people asked me what the little tube is for on the side. This is what the tube is for. This is the rocket launch pad, and this is the giant Taylor who's blocking the view of like 8 people. This is the rocket launch pad. The little tube on the side of the rocket goes over the stick. And then it holds the rocket on the launch pad. And then we'll do some stuff with wires and a little igniter thing when launch time happens. And you'll get to press a button, and the rocket will go.
Kaboom.
I like.
How high will they go?
Higher than I can jump, so like way high. Way high. These will go a couple 100 feet high.
Oh, what?
How far away is the sun? 93 million miles. So
You
they
have
won't
to
go
go
that
up that
far.
high.
No, these are low and slow rockets. It'll go high enough to make you go, wow!
I have
and
one at my
that's
house that
enough.
goes up 1,000.
Yeah, we're running A-size engines, so this is going to be kind of chill.
But we forgot this step.
What step?
This step.
Yeah, that's for launching.
Oh.
We'll do that when we launch. Today's Captain's Blog is made possible by a generous grant from Robert Schultz. Thank you, sir, for helping out with this and for all the fun with rockets today.